we're going to talk about. We're quickly running out of time tonight, but we're going to. I had a big list here, but why don't we just go around to everyone on the panel? First of all, Pete Carney is here in the studio.
Hey,
there he is.
I'm going to jump on one camera over here. That way it's easier.
And then joining us from their homes, we have Rob Whiteside, who was there with me at the expo.
Hey,
Rob was there.
Hey.
Hi, Rob.
I like your blue headphones.
Uh-oh.
I love Rob.
Thanks. Happy birthday, Pete.
Hold on.
Oh, thanks, Rob. Rob's the best.
Uh-oh.
Rob's going to be on screen the rest of the show, apparently.
Yay!
Welcome to the Rob Show. Sorry.
We're echoing. It's
You
great.
want to introduce the next panelist?
Yeah, sure. Tyler Mann is there somewhere.
Hey, Tyler.
Hi from Canada, and also happy birthday, Pete.
Oh,
It
thank
is
you.
Pete's birthday. I
From
forgot
the far
again.
and wide.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Pete.
Thank you.
you. We have
But
Pete
I appreciate
Popcorn.
that.
Tall and
Yes,
wide.
very nice. All these
Be a man.
greetings from around the country.
And other countries.
Should we just continue? Is
Yeah,
it fine?
We're fine.
It's fine. All right, we're going to continue. Hopefully that's not annoying for everybody.
Jason's here.
A little bit annoying.
Oh, Jason Diffendahl. We have Jason Diffendahl there.
Oh, from right up the block.
Right,
You couldn't
son,
make it here?
Jason.
Yeah.
I know they opened early, but this is getting ridiculous
Yeah.
now.
That doesn't look like 300 minutes at all. Of course, Jason
Your
is muted of
microphone
all
is not
people.
on.
Sorry, he's in a galaxy far, far away. The
Far.
connection's not great.
No, he's just quiet. He's not muted.
You're not. You got to use light sound, not light speed. There you go.
Wow.
Light sound.
I hope he just pulls up like a Ronald rap like from below screen and just goes, he just starts eating it. Like, how did he get it? I don't
It's just me and 4 cast members.
Yeah. You know, what's funny about that art is we said before it opened, we were like, oh, it's never going to be like that. And then Disneyland it was. It was actually not like
Oh.
that. Florida, no. But
But how about that opening?
so I want to go around to everybody. Hopefully everyone's aware of what was announced or talked about at the expo. What's the one thing everybody wants to talk about? What's the one announcement? Michelle already said something. Michelle, what do you want to talk about?
Epcot.
But like what thing from
That
Epcot?
they're destroying
You have to
Future
be more
World.
They're
specific.
destroying. Michelle is now a fangirl. This is amazing.
Wow.
I kind of want to hear this too because
Michelle, why
I'm
do you think they're destroying
super
Future World?
curious.
It's experimental prototype community of tomorrow, and we're not having a tomorrow anymore.
That's fair.
Like, what?
It's the experimental prototype community of nature and celebration.
Yeah, and friendship or something.
And Discovery.
Nope, that wasn't one of
I
them.
believe it was celebration.
Companionship? I don't know. All the new logos.
I like the new logos.
I am a big fan as well, and I hate agreeing with Tom. So, fair point. Go ahead. What else do you like?
I'm actually
Jason.
rather annoyed that Chapek didn't mention anything about the new logos during the presentation.
But there was a whole
Like,
pavilion.
to me,
of
that's
them. They were a wall.
yeah, I know. But to everyone who wasn't there and were watching live streams, he didn't talk about it. Like he
Yeah,
didn't
we
even say,
talked
"Hey,
about
look,
this.
Epcot's got a new logo."
Yeah, so to talk to what Jason is talking about in our recap, we just wanted him to recognize that they did a whole new logo. They did this terrible presentation for Hollywood Studios 35th where they unveiled a new logo.
What anniversary?
I'm sorry, the
30th.
30th, not the 30th of Epcot. 30th of Hollywood
They
Studios.
gave
They did a whole
studios an
presentation.
ugly new logo,
And then it was
and it looked
awful.
really.
They showed the new Epcot
Yeah, but they
logo
made a
at the
big deal.
panel.
No, but they didn't make a big
They didn't,
scene
but he
about
didn't
it. There was
say
no
anything
like
about it.
Video
fanfare.
package where Spaceship Earth's like covered in fairy dust. And
I know, but
explodes into
you're
a
talking.
logo.
This is like literally where he could have like gained bonus points with the fanboys and the community
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
"We're bringing it back to the
Bingo.
original. Look at all these
I
colors
already,
and
I had already
symbols."
posted that though.
I know. Well, we're saying this was our post-show reaction.
Yeah.
How did he miss that opportunity to gain some points with the fanboys?
Because he announced it on Thursday. There was technically the weird
But there was
thing
no
about this
presentation,
expo
so
was
you
there
have to
was-
keep in mind that
there
not everyone was
a
there.
media. There was a media
A
presentation.
media presentation, but was everyone watching that as close as the parks panel? Is what I'm
It was
saying.
posted all over the internet by then. I don't know if he had to. See
Everyone
it again.
saw it, but it wasn't. There was none of that
needed
fanfare.
30 minutes to talk about cruise line at the end.
Which they didn't. That was filled for Brazil that it had canceled because they were like, "Hey, Rhodey, we know we gave you 15. We're gonna need you to go 45."
Well, here's the thing: that was already so controversial that island Iceland thing is already so controversial that adding Brazil onto that weekend
Of course.
would have been a nightmare. Like,
And if
already all the
and I said
comments
this
on
would've
the
been
other
terrible.
on other shows on Park Center and that post show, is that if it was anyone but Rhodey, they would not have gotten away with it. The fact that Rhodey came out and says, like, hey, we love the island and we're doing the colors, all these artists, we're bringing everyone from the island up. We're going to elevate the island. We're working with the people. Like, everyone's like, cool. Anyone else comes out and does that, they're like, Disney's dominating this island.
Yeah, because
it's
Joe
gonna be
Rhodey has proven he can do it. Like, even Pandora has more culture, real culture in it, despite being an alien
course.
planet, than most projects the rest of the company produces. So imagine anytime he's had real culture to work with, whether it's Animal Kingdom Lodge, which has a lot of really
amazing.
art and all sorts of really cool things all
Amazing.
over it. Alani, which, by the way, ended up having the largest collection of art from the indigenous people in
Also,
the world, believe it or not.
that could have been the biggest-
He's got
that-
a great track record.
Yeah. Oh, he has the perfect track record. That's what I'm saying. Like, thank God it was him. Olani should have been a flop. If he was not a part of that, it probably would have
Yeah,
flopped.
people don't go to Hawaii.
No, they do, but they're already spending thousands of dollars now. That's like spend an extra $4,000 to go to this one specific area in Hawaii. I don't know. I feel like he was the perfect guy for this project. I wish he was on other projects that we were going to talk about, but from the D23 Expo. But he was the perfect guy for this presentation at the right time, with all the, I would say, with like everything going on in Brazil, the turmoil in the company.
Yeah.
He was the perfect guy at the right time.
That's fair. Who else on the panel has one they want to specifically talk about?
I'll go a little bit further on the whole logo thing. Is that you guys are talking about the Epcot logo, but the actual individual logos. I don't know if you can see that. The 12 logos that are the different pavilions. I mean, those are the ones that I'm excited about because those are the ones from the original Epcot, and to see them again, to me, is really exciting. And then I had to buy the pins because Tom bought the pins.
If your thing is I had to buy pins because Tom bought them, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Well, yeah, I was going to say two things that I learned is it's a lot of fun to do something Disney with Tom, and also never go toe-to-toe with Tom on Disney merch. You just don't.
Never,
you will always
ever,
lose.
ever.
Yeah, exactly. It's bad. It was really bad.
I'm a bad influence. Cameron knows that.
Yeah.
How many Hawaiian shirts did you buy this weekend,
No,
Cameron?
let's not talk about Hawaiian shirts. Let's talk about how Tom's net worth is measured in pins and merch. And let's move on from there. Like, if you took those two things out, Tom would be like, I have 2 Slurpee cups and a bed
not
spread.
wrong.
But if you add up my pins and merch, I'm worth $6.7 million.
What about light up ghost jars?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Light up
The value's already skyrocketing.
No, it's down. Back to
The magnets on the fridge.
Magnets at
Magnets
banks.
on the
Yeah,
fridge,
my
yes.
has a lot of
That
magnets.
was a big.
Oh,
We're trying
yeah.
to talk about the expo,
Conversation
not
piece.
my
Guys,
my
I didn't
shopping.
start it.
I-
Rob did. Let's go back to
I
the
would
expo.
Whoa.
I want to ask about the logo that everyone's hating on. Like, are you talking about the new font for where it says
No, we're
Epcot?
not hating.
No,
It's
we
not a
love-
font. They
No, no,
just
no, no.
changed the city.
We're hating.
Yeah, we love the
we're
logo.
hating-
Am I wrong? Do you not
I
like
love it, yeah.
I love it too. Everyone loves it.
We're hating on Chapek for not mentioning the logo.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
One time he could have been well liked. He skipped. We all love the logo.
Well, like, not going.
All right, fine. The one time he
I
scored
don't think
one
that
bonus
was-
point.
I don't know.
Watching our like Periscope chat, everyone was like, "There's a new logo and everything," and I'm like, "It's on all the 35th merch. It's on
I
my
think what
shirt right
Jason
now."
was saying
It's
is
that.
he missed a giant opportunity. Obviously, he gets a ton of flack
Yeah.
everywhere. And if he would have said, "Hey guys, we're bringing back the old logo. Check it out. 3, 2, 1," and he cuts to that, the crowd would have loved it, as opposed to like
Yeah.
the
That
Hollywood
would have
Studios
been
or
the-
any other thing.
That
he's
would
ever
have
done.
been the
He has
biggest
IP.
point of applause.
Yeah, but so that is where like he would have got the Tom Corlises and everyone else in that room to lose their mind, applaud, be excited, and that was a missed opportunity.
At least he would have gotten more applause than the Target dog.
That's what Jason, I think, is saying. God bless you.
That
She's
dog
allergic
gave
to
me a
flag.
$10 gift card. You don't talk about that dog.
What is
That
Cameron?
was-
Although-
Look at this graphic that Tyler made.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And there's the target dog. Yep, there's Bullseye.
Dog looks so worried.
Proud of that.
Nick, what do you think? You haven't said anything. I would love your opinion.
I'm actually excited for a lot of this, but it wasn't really necessarily exciting announcements. But I'm excited for a big change at Epcot. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I'm excited for an update to Spaceship Earth. And I think they might have an interesting idea to kind of spice it up a little bit. I do. If they do it right. Now, it could be extremely bad and it could be extremely good. So, I really don't know. I like the idea of kind of beautifying that area of Epcot. Although I did think the same thing a lot of people in our kind of group chat were saying about the festival center and the big, the great space to watch the new nighttime spectacular from. If you're paying exorbitant amounts to have a dessert party, right? It's dessert party viewing. We all know that. Yeah. The average person isn't going to get to go stand up there and watch the fireworks from. I don't know. The Walt statue is pretty cool. Having a Walt statue in Epcot,
I like that too.
I love that. Yeah. That's perfect. I'm anticipating like a big change to Epcot, and I've never had the biggest problem with the IPs coming into Epcot as much as a lot of people do. If they're good attractions that I'm going to enjoy, so I'm really not having a problem with Mary Poppins.
The only thing that really bothered me.
Yeah.
Is the land names.
The land names?
That's the thing. Like, I'm okay with Project Gamma. I've always liked that.
They don't make
I think
sense.
The Festival Center
it's
building.
It's going to look beautiful. I know it is.
Cool. I don't understand World Celebration and World Nature and World Discovery.
What else are you going to name something called World? We haven't figured it out yet. That's what World Celebration is.
World Showcase doesn't mean everything's got to have World.
Of course, but what else are they going to do?
World Showcase makes sense because you're actually showing different countries from around the world.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Right?
The other things don't make any sense. Like as a phrase, they don't make sense.
Well, would you be okay if they just called it Discovery and not World Discovery?
Yeah, that was actually supposed to happen.
Discovery Land.
Even if
whatever.
the park was World Discovery, if you combined Future World into World Discovery, you have World Discovery and World Showcase.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm totally okay dropping the name Future World.
But like those lands are, I'm all confused.
I don't understand.
World
how
Celebration
And
is like this T.
I can explain that.
I don't get how it works.
Or there's construction. You get to run through the scaffolding. Yeah. Run around. People are asking me too because they were saying like, do you think they're going to close both sides? Because how are they going to get to that? That's a monster construction project.
Yeah, they've done a lot of this stuff in phases. I think that's
it's always
going to
be done in phases for sure.
They already have started in phases. Like next to the Art of Disney, all the trees have been cleared. I knew on the other side is the Living Seas. I never realized how close it was, and now that the trees are cleared, I'm like, oh, that is right.
Well, you could see it too. We did it in the Park Center post show for all those who are Wigs members, but you could see from Google Earth like how close and how much land they cleared over between Guardians and this project. There's only like a quick pathway. And it's right there. They cleared a lot of land for staging, and I'm assuming, like I said, I don't think they can close both sides of Spaceship Earth. It's not possible.
Well, I have a question. Like, when we were growing up going to Epcot, I used my trips to Epcot as book reports. Like, I learned a lot of history. A lot of what I remember when I was taking tests, I could hear the voiceovers from the rides. Is that gone for good?
Yeah.
Like, there's no educational value.
Well, put that.
It's still at the American Adventure.
Well, they said like the Moana thing's also going to teach you what the water cycle. What is?
Sure.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess. But
yeah, but it's not. Kids are going to play with the fountains and run through it, and that's it.
Guardians of the Galaxy is supposedly the rewind is not just because it goes backwards. The rewind is because you're going back in time through like portals. Supposedly the Big Bang is in it, which you may remember the Big Bang was in another attraction that was in that space, and maybe there's a reference to it.
okay.
So the rewind thing, there's something there. Is it going to be super educational? No.
I mean, call me a nerd, but I actually liked that part of Epcot. Was that you were learning stuff. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I do like, and I said this on the show last night, is that I do want there to be educational portions of everything, and it's not going to be possible. Or maybe they'll do like small things in that ride. But like I said with Spaceship Earth, I know that it's changing. They're going to the vision of the history of storytelling. I just don't want them to lose a little bit of that educational aspect where I have to turn to my niece or nephew or my future children and say, like, this is what happened at this time. This is here. And they're saving scenes.
I think
but, like,
Judi Dench ruined a lot of that.
I know, but it's still
Blaming her.
there's still
No, I'm serious,
so much,
though.
There's still so much you could take from that and learn. And again, I'm okay with them overhauling it. It needs an overhaul. But
Yeah,
what
it
I'm
needs
saying
I
is,
just want that descent. to
I
be
just
fixed.
wanted to
Yes.
maintain a little bit of that edutainment. That's all I really want.
Exactly.
I honestly think Spaceship Earth, as it is right now, to me, the best parallel is Journey into Your Imagination, where there's not a lot they could do that could make it worse. Like, it's pretty
All right, simmer
bad.
down over there.
No, I mean, it's the worst. It's the worst version ever, right? So
we know you're the only person watching who's seen every version ever known to man.
well, that's true.
I love you. I love you so much.
I love these.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for the Spaceship Earth. I'm excited for that overhaul. I wish it would take so long.
Yeah, supposedly 2.5 years. We'll see if that's still a thing, but I think that's still a thing.
4 years later, we'll be saying.
Took
So
2
wait.
years to build, 2.5 years to overhaul.
They're knocking down.
No, I
the
agree.
Exit.
We talked
saw
about this
the
last
art.
night.
They're knocking down the exit building. They're building a whole new building back there.
And they built it with no one in the park. Now they have to redo it with tons of traffic every single day in the middle structure. And everyone's like, "Oh, they have tunnels and stuff," but like, try doing a construction project going through tunnels. They're not going to let that happen.
They're also retracking the whole ride. Like obviously, they're not going to
it's a
tell you they're doing
monster
that.
project.
I mean, it's 40 years. It's nearly 40 years old. It is that ride system takes a lot of strain because you are sending these big heavy machines
16
all the
hours
way
a
up
day,
that
365,
geodesic- yeah, and it's a lot, and so they're going to rebuild. So they're rebuilding the whole track. You're knocking down the exit building and rebuilding it. I mean, we saw how long Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is taking in a building that already existed.
Yeah.
So you're knocking down and rebuilding, some
and you're
structures are gonna
trapped.
be
There's
some
nowhere
problems.
they can go that like they can redo it unless it's overnight. That was another thing we were talking about. It's like unless they close half of their egress, which I don't think they legally can do at the end of Illuminations. Like they can't close one half.
If
of that
they
path.
build the passageways to living seas and energy around that section of like around the backside, that will give them more egress past what
I think it's
pathways.
phased. I think
It's going to be
it's
phased out, yeah. And I think they have to keep both sides open. They can get it done during the nights, and I mean, again, from a construction management phase, like it's going to slow them down tremendously, but it's very doable in 2.5 years to completely overhaul that ride, knock a building down, rebuild it, and then just get all the debris and big stuff out between. Let's call it the park closes at 9. Let's call it between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. every night. And then you work during the day inside, but then the debris goes out at night, and that's it. And call me crazy, but I have faith in this crew.
You crazy.
Hi guys,
You crazy.
I'm Pete Carney. I have faith in you. Thank you so much.
All right, so can I talk about Mary Poppins though?
Are we talking about?
I mean, I love the construction talk, but the Mary Poppins attraction, I was like up here when they brought out Dick Van Dyke, and then when he went away and didn't get to say anything, it kind of came down to here. And then when they said, "Hey, it's Cherry Tree Lane," it went up a little bit, and it says there's going to be an attraction, and then I was like, oh. And I was saying last night that I heard two things that I thought were hilarious. One was, is this going to be Enchanted Tales with Mary Poppins? And the second one was, will they be making $200 build your own umbrellas in this area? And I think
I
either
thought that
would be
was
great
awesome.
options.
I thought that was
But-
awesome. $200 build your own
But-
umbrellas. It was the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Umbrella shop.
Right.
If you missed Park
Yeah.
Center last night, it was fantastic.
Wow.
So you've got this concept art that, then you're like, okay, well, maybe it'll be like the original Julie Andrews Mary, but it's not, because in the concept art they have the Emily Blunt and the Lin-Manuel Miranda and a balloon in that concept art, and then they show people walking in the Banks house. So it'll be kind of cool to see, and I would love to see like a real live Cherry Tree Lane, but I would love even more to see a dark ride. And one of the things, Tom, you said was if they were going to do a dark ride, he would have taken that moment right then to say it, right?
You don't cover a dark ride. If you were building what everyone wanted, you don't cover it up.
Yeah.
So remember, this project started as a flat ride. They were going to build a spinner out there. And in the time since we talked about that, it has changed into something else. I think you're right about the Enchanted Tales thing. I think that's what it is. I think you're going to go into the Banks house and she's going to slide down the railing and it'll be a meet and greet, which will be cool. I don't think it's not cool. I think just the street being there is cool. And if they actually like spend money on entertainment, if the Admiral comes out and they actually shoot the cannon off the
Cannon
roof,
would be
Yeah, that'd be
amazing.
cool.
and they do like the
Every
musical number
hour?
with the
I was gonna say, if they do
lamplighters,
some-
I'm on board.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. If I
I'm
see
happy.
tap dancing in the street in the middle of the day, and granted, I'm gonna severely miss my rock and roll dudes in the back. But like, if you see guys come out and they just break into a number with lamp lighting, talk about atmosphere. Like that'll give you chills when you see it in person.
Here's the problem with those thoughts. Number one,
Budget
the thought
cut.
about it being the new Mary Poppins, and number two, the thought about the atmospheric entertainment. There may be this example of like a major film franchise where they could have based things on the original.
Be
but
more
they chose
specific,
the
please.
Current thing, and then maybe they also then cut the entertainment from it. So maybe there's some similar thing where I'm like, I'm concerned now because you've chosen this.
It is a giant opportunity. If you're not going to give us an e-ticket attraction, please pay your entertainment department. Like
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
what's missing
Absolutely.
there,
Yes.
and it's unbelievable. It's the perfect space. It's wide sidewalks, and it's missing people hanging out in the pub can come outside, and it's just a perfect spot to watch. I'm talking about my people. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, hi, it's me, Pete. You know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just saying it's a perfect spot, and I would want to bring my children there to watch that.
To the pub?
Of course, Tom.
That's about right.
Spill out.
No,
No,
that's
it's the
on
perfect
brand
thing.
for
And
Pete.
as our and he's not here tonight, but as our Nathan Hartman once said, like he's been saying it forever, lamplighters and that kind of streamosphere was
Yeah.
made
It would be cool.
for the UK.
It would be very cool. Has everyone presented something they wanted? Cameron, have you presented something from the expo you want to talk about?
Not for Mary Poppins. I don't have a lot of thoughts. on
No,
Mary
but like
Poppins.
at any of the other
Anything.
projects, was there something that you were like particularly excited
I
about?
think the
or
floats
angry
for
about?
the Magic Happens. look
You're excited about
fantastic.
Magic
Yeah,
Happens?
that Moana float.
Yeah,
looks
the Disneyland
amazing.
parade. I think it looks great. I like the song. They performed the song for us live.
Yeah.
I was happy about it.
Yeah.
I think it looks great.
What is
about
it?
the name,
Jordan
The name's
Fisher?
awful.
Magic. What is wrong
Jordan
with
Fisher.
Magic
Jordan Fisher.
Happens? I don't-
Parade happens.
Things
Like,
happen. Parades happen.
I think
Things
it's
happen. Shiitake mushrooms being burned
I
happen.
hate everything, and I think it's cute. So, I mean,
Well, this is the anomaly. You're watching it live.
I'm a parade guy. Though.
No, I loved it, to be honest, and that was a cool float. I also love that they're bringing in like more current stuff. Like the Coco float looked amazing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I really hope this makes its way to the East Coast as well.
I,
so.
on the other hand, am excited that they're doing classic things like Sleeping Beauty, and of course, I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point they are doing a Sword in the Stone float, which I'm excited about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm pretty excited.
And-
And I think that's the key. That's what I want at a Disney company. I want side by side,
Balance.
new and old. I don't mind having the new there, but you have to also give me the old stuff. Like I want
course.
both.
That's why I think everyone loves Disney. Is that it's something that your kids or nephews or someone the youth in you loves, no matter who you are, and then the older you or the parent or the grandparent loves, and it ties it all in. That's why we come here. That's why we want more timeless, more Disney. You know, like
relevant.
yada yada yada.
Disney Plus.
And Jordan Fisher came out and sung the new song, and I guess he's doing it for the
song.
parade as well. He's the same guy that sings
Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever After, which
Yeah.
is Happily Ever After makes the show, in my opinion.
The song,
the
yeah,
song.
That's fair.
So I think that the music will be fantastic for that too.
What else we got to talk about? Anything else from the expo we want to talk about?
The complete absent of anything Figment. Like, zero mention of him
I told you it wasn't
whatsoever. no videos. Sorry, they cut to a kid doing like the square painting on a wall.
It
But
was sad that he
that
was
was
in the, like Epcot sizzle.
No, but he was in one of the packages for a second. So like they're not getting rid of him.
He's not going away.
Of course.
He makes the money. He's not going
Oh, of course. If
Everybody
you would have went
wants to
into
buy stuff
the
with Figment on it.
So I mean, I don't want to transition into today with the food and wine, but he's on every piece of merchandise for food and wine
yeah.
almost every single year. Like he is almost like the mascot of food and wine nowadays.
Yes,
The
now,
problem
yeah.
is they keep pushing it off. They keep pushing it off because it's not IP based, and like everyone else in the company is fighting. It's like, yeah, we need to do a Figment thing, and they're like, well, first Guardians, and they're Mary Poppins. Like we're gonna do all these things we want to do first, and then maybe all these other
Maybe
people
people will
at the
forget
company-
about him.
Just make like the next
and
big,
then maybe-
amazing G-rated movie involving Figment, and maybe we can keep him around. Like
be so
if we
great.
can't get him into a park by forcing him with our will of park lovers,
would have to be
make
like
an
the classic
awesome.
animation
Oh, it's got to be like an
version.
amazing. Give them no budget G-rated film that hits every single child growing up now. So when they are our age, way old, not as old as Tom, but like I'm just saying, they will love Figment.
Yeah.
Tom's
If only they had
Not
something that
even
was.
nearly the oldest person.
If only they had something that was like already written that was really well done about Figment. You could just like adapt it, and then even the writer
You don't?
of the comics has said, "I'll do a movie if they want me to." Like, let him. It's not that hard.
Figment
There-
one was
there's
good.
your
Figment
movie.
two got a little
It's
weird.
2 whole books. It's 2 movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If it's gonna happen, I'd prefer like the top of the line. Like it can't. If it flops, imagine a Figment movie that flops. Then like we'd be in real trouble. So it's a double-edged
flop
sword.
Then
if
he
you
would
dump
become
it on your streaming
ironically
service.
awesome.
It's a double-edged sword. I don't know. Anyway, anyone
We
else?
talk about something that went completely flat at the expo. They announced the name Disney Harmonious, and the crowd was silent.
Harmonious.
Did anyone like the song?
Hark,
the new
hark,
Epcot
hark.
song?
I
was
like
fantastic.
No.
Harmonious.
No, I
No.
heard it a few times first.
Nope.
Maybe
We
in
heard
context.
it debuted in the pavilion,
Yeah.
so we heard it every time we went in the
okay.
pavilion. I like it. I think it sounds like Epcot music. It's a little bit of Millennium Celebration and a little bit of opening Epcot. I think it's got both of those vibes.
So I like it.
I think it's too soft. Like it's not epic enough. It's fine for like an Epcot background music loop, but it's not epic enough for a nighttime spectacular. That's my
That's
opinion.
not,
No, it's not,
for the
but-
nighttime show. It's the new Epcot theme.
Yeah, it's
There
just the
shouldn't be a lot
anthem,
of
and
confusion about this on Sunday.
But also,
I really
nothing will
liked it.
compare to. And again, I say this to a lot of people who are coming in. Like nothing will ever compare to that first soundtrack you heard as a child, and that thing you have in your head of this is where the bar is set.
Well,
and
that's
as
the-
we move through
yeah.
time, no, and I think that's true for a lot of people. Though it's like I love the Epcot music loop is the most perfect music loop ever for me. Like I listen to it all the time. Like the traditional, like you just
The
YouTube or Google.
interventions,
Yeah,
like, area?
it's
Yeah.
everything. Like I listen to them all,
Okay.
and it's perfect, and I love it. But hearing the new theme song, which is not Harmonious, they're completely different.
Yeah,
and I think
no, it's just the theme for the.
I think people are mixing these up. Is that Harmonious is one thing, and the new
Harmonious
Epcot
is
theme.
Disney music.
Yes,
It is-
and Harmonious is a new original track, which they played at the expo, and I thought it was nice. It was inspirational.
No,
it was
we didn't hear
motivational.
Harmonious at all.
No, it wasn't Harmonious. It was the new Epcot theme song.
Yeah, you just-
Harmonious is a whole
I
other
don't know
thing.
what's happening.
No, I'm saying we heard the new Epcot theme song, not Harmonious.
So here's
And people are putting those together, and they're not. They
Right.
should not be together.
It'll click when you hear it in context
Yes.
with the park. And I think it can have that impact. That same with the music we grew up and
Yeah.
loved, but you need it in context because that's where we
If
start
you
to.
watch it on YouTube,
That's
we
why
have
we
the
like
video
this
they
stuff.
showed in the pavilion, which is that new
Yeah.
theme song playing with all these like original Epcot concept art and the new concept art. And I think it's a very nice piece.
Like I'd argue, people are going to like it after a few years just because it's playing in Epcot, and they'll associate it with Epcot, and they'll.
Yeah, but
enjoy
maybe
the-
it'll be an Epcot no one likes it.
Well, maybe.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be a great place to go hang out. But I mean, maybe just in a different stage of life where I think that's neat. Like having that area where that nice
I
area
like
where
the
you could
green
just
space.
hang out
My
at Epcot.
problems are all attraction related.
Okay.
Yeah, and nighttime show related for that matter. Yeah.
You don't think it's going to be good?
I think Harmonious is going to be a giant flop.
Especially, and
Why? Why
I'll
do you think that already?
I'll jump on.
Disney music. We already have. We have Happily Ever After. We have the animation show at studios. We now have Rivers of Light full of cartoon characters. It didn't fix that show either. That show is worse now, and I think audiences agree. And I'm not just talking like us.
I'll just say this. I'll just say the response to when they said Epcot Forever and they played some of that music.
Yeah.
And this is where Jason will jump in because I know he loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Was Epcot Forever garnered
amazing.
such a great response.
Everyone loves that music.
And they're going to
It was
put
a
that out
wonderful
there.
thing.
They're going to do a show, and then a year later, they're going to rip it away from you, and that's when everyone's going to get upset. Jason?
Not even a year later. Not even a year later. And that's it's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad to go from something that's classic Epcot that everyone loves to this Harmonious show that is got the same Disney music and projections as every other show now and has
that's
nothing to do with
beautiful.
Epcot. And people, it's not only is Harmonious, I think, going to be bad, like Tom said. I think when you bring it after something like Epcot Forever, it would almost be like you would bring it right after Illuminations. It's got such a high bar to stand to,
Well, it's
and
after both
it's
of
not
those,
going
so,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's
not.
no
It's
great-
not gonna. There's no way it's going to be able to meet that bar.
There's no greater oxymoron than Epcot Forever being a temporary show. Like, why not do both? We already have like 3 projection shows in Hollywood studios. Like, if you're using the same sort of technical setup, why couldn't you do both shows in one night? You do 2 Phantasmics sometimes. Do 2 different Epcot shows for whoever wants to watch.
Or
whichever one
alternate
they
them
want.
or thing, schedule them ahead of time, whatever.
Well, they can't do that because the jet skis are rentals.
It's too easy to do it.
There's Sammy Duvall,
money.
which is gone, so it's a real big issue.
I've already paid $318 to run the jet ski kites on opening night.
Yeah.
Not true at all.
All right. Very quickly, any real quick final thoughts on anything announced at the expo? Marvel, whatever else we didn't talk about. Real quick.
I
Lizzie
don't-
McGuire.
No, I meant like parks. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Come on,
Wow.
the crowd's
Wow.
turning on
Wow.
me now.
No, I would
that
say this,
Avengers
that,
ride?
They're excited. That's all I'm
either
saying.
people on our own website have not shown appreciation to the Walt statue, and because they said this is nothing like Walt's vision of Epcot. I think that it is
It's about
Walt.
spirit.
It's
though.
exactly, and I think it's about Walt Disney World. His name is on the entire world,
And that was his
and
dream
that is
of
about
Epcot.
keeping him humanized. If you ask younger kids, they don't know he's a real person.
Yeah.
So I think just having his presence in the park as a human
Yeah.
being humanizes him and makes it think like you can actually make all your dreams come true.
Yeah.
And because kids nowadays think that Walt Disney is a fake name,
They just think it's like a brand.
because a brand, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that humanizes him. And I know that this is not his Epcot by any means.
A park
but I
doesn't
love
have
that.
to be his to have
Yes.
his spirit. I think
Agreed.
California Adventure, when they went down that road of Buena Vista Street, is California he arrived in, and that statue. I like that better than Partners. I know I'm supposed to like Partners better because it's Blaine Gibson and all these things.
Be cool. Be cool.
And I like Storytellers better because
It's a much better
I
statue.
like the Walt arriving in Hollywood with the suitcase and the pie-eyed Mickey. I think, and it's also you can touch it, you can take a picture with it, and that's what I like about the Epcot one. But it's older Walt, but you are allowed to sit there and
It is,
dream
and
with
it,
him,
I find it,
I
and
like
it's as someone else described it from the company. It's Uncle Walt,
Yeah.
and you could sit with him and take a picture with him, and it keeps it Walt Disney. It doesn't keep the big what if or who is he. There he is, right there. And then now you have to explain who that man is to your children for
Who's the
generations
guy
to
on
come.
the stoop?
Yeah, who's the weird guy sitting on steps?
Who's the guy who lives in?
We don't do
Spaceship Earth?
steps. We take escalators or elevators. This is crazy.
Or our hoverboards.
Every once in a while, it just yells like, "Get off my lawn!"
He just comes to life.
Damn kids!
Get out of my park.
Damn kids with their IPs.
Get off my imagination.
Anything else, real quick?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think part of the first of all, the presentation, I mean, was awful. I mean,
it was bad.
Chivik did a horrible job. I mean, I don't know
The
if
worst.
it rattled him or what. I don't like. This was his worst job getting up there.
It
on
was the
stage
worst.
doing
It was the worst of any
Yeah.
expo.
I don't know what it was, but he couldn't even speak. So the weird thing is, nothing really wowed me, but there's a lot of things I'm excited about. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
excited about walking onto Avengers campus. I'm excited about like a reimagined Epcot. I'm excited about obviously a Star Wars hotel. As a me personally, there was a lot of things I don't necessarily care about. I think are neat, but like the overseas stuff, I mean, doesn't really connect to me. But some of the things that were announced, that we kind of already knew were coming, obviously because of the site, and you ruined everything for us. So there's no
sorry,
like great
everybody.
reveal. But so
It
nothing.
did the point where if they don't announce something that's coming that I told you they're going to, people get upset. Yeah.
The biggest problem, though, is
You
the
blew
way
it.
we feel about the way the companies run right now. So it stops us from being too excited about these things that I think could be cool.
We've
and
been
could be
let
exciting.
down a lot
right?
the
Because
last
we're like,
couple
that
years.
seems really cool, but they're not going to do it right, and that
Yeah.
was the problem with this expo and the announcements.
That's fair. Yeah. Like even though Star Wars turned out very, very good, I think there's still like this. It's Bob. We're
Yeah.
he's gonna open a Star Wars, but he cut the entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he comes out and he's like, cut the entertainment. Our cast members are the entertainment. You don't pay them as entertainment, Bob. Those are hourly people who you're forcing to be entertainment because you won't pay for entertainment.
I have a dream that one day I will come out to a new land without entertainment and people will rejoice.
All right, I think we are running out of time here. So thank you to illustrious panel. I know several things we didn't talk about, the Star Cruiser and things. We're certainly going to talk about those a lot more.
And food and wine maybe next week.
I will talk more about food and wine next week, yeah, for sure. But I think it's time to put this one to bed.
Is it?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. It's
Yep,
late.
Yep.
It's
11:11.
It's 11:11.
It make a wish.
Anyway, remember, kids, may Epcot Center entertain, inform, and inspire, and above all, may it instill a new sense of belief and pride in man's ability to shape a world that offers hope to people